Welcome to this very special edition of Best of America by Horseback. We're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in the Hawaiian Islands on the island of Maui. And Dell, there's something real special about this show.
Today we're going to introduce our viewers to the winners of the Safeguard Ranch and Ride contest they've been hearing so much about. And we couldn't have had any more appreciative guests, winners, than Bill and Jan. It's going to be a wonderful show today.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back as you watch the very Best of America by Horseback with Dale Shields and Tom C.
Stay tuned next for part one of Best of America by Horseback's trip to Hawaii, with horseback riding at the Piiholo Ranch with the Baldwin family, as well as zipping high above the ranch on their new zip line. And Tom and Dell try their hand at the hula at the old Lahaina luau, all arranged for the winners of the Safeguard Ranch and Ride sweepstakes by Tom Barefoot Tours. Stay tuned. Part of this show is brought to you by Tucker Trail Saddles, the world's finest trail saddles and equipment company. By Mill Creek Manure Spreaders, clean stalls in half the time with half the work. By CSI Saddle Pads, designed for your horse's comfort and performance in mind. The difference is amazing. And by Spurs Big Fix, wound, skin, and hoof. The more you use it, the more you'll love it.
Hello, I'm Gary Stice. I am the #1 dealer for Lakota trailers nationwide. Please stop in and see our new facility. Our new facility has a very large display area where we will have up to a dozen trailers inside the building, a very large service center where we can service all your needs. We can take care of your horses as well as your trailer and show you new trailers also. Please stop in and see us on Interstate 71 south of Columbus, Ohio.
Over the next 2 weeks on Best of America by Horseback, Tom C. and Dell Shields are headed west to ride with the winners of the Safeguard Ranch and Ride National Sweepstakes. They chose a ranch rich in cowboy history, located in one of the most beautiful places on earth, the island of Maui in Hawaii. The winner of the Safeguard National Ranch and Ride Sweepstakes is Jan Canfield of Missouri. Jan won a trip for two to ride with Tom and Dell in Hawaii. She and her husband Bill were accompanied by Herb Robertson and his wife Angela. Herb works for Hoffer's Feed Store in Doniphan, Missouri, where the winning ticket was filled out, so they also were awarded 2 spots on the trip. The group stayed at the Aromatherapy Foundation's Grand Villa at the Maui Spa and Retreat. They were overwhelmed by the beauty and grandeur of what was to be their home for the next week. Little did they know we were just getting started.
We're going to take you to one of the most famous luau's in the world, and we're going to be right on the ocean with some spectacular food. Everything is authentic, all the way down to the history lesson.
We got to do a little bit of a dance lesson at the luau, and the tradition there is just rich. What a wonderful event.
You're going to enjoy this, hopefully, as much as we do.
The old Lahaina luau hosted Best of America by Horseback. Recognized as one of the finest traditional luau's in the Pacific, they treated the guests to an evening full of traditional island music, dance, and authentic cuisine. Tom and Dell were invited to learn the history of the hula dance. The hula, once believed to have been performed exclusively by men, tells stories through the movement of the dancer's feet, hands, hips, and eyes. The centerpiece of every ancient Hawaiian celebration was, and still is, the kalua pig, slowly cooked for hours in an underground oven. As the sun set over the beach, the pig was unearthed for the beginning of an authentic island feast. The evening's entertainment began with the famous drum dance of Tahiti, followed by more dances, giving the audience a glimpse into the history and culture of Hawaii. The next morning, we visited the Piiholo Ranch, owned and operated by the Baldwin family, whose roots trace back to the colonial days of Hawaii. Tamalin Baldwin manages the equestrian activities on the ranch. Tamalin and her staff have an incredible talent of accommodating their guests with the best horses for their riding level. The ranch hosts national events and has a stable of well-trained professional horses. The group spent the day exploring Piiholo Ranch by horseback, which included riding through dense eucalyptus forests, high pastures overlooking the ocean, and grandiose views of ancient volcanoes.
You know, people think about Hawaii, you think about paradise only, and you don't really realize the extent of ranching and cowboy history here, because I guess there was a time when horseback was the only way you could ranch on these islands. So cowboy style horses, ranching, all of that, pretty serious business here. It's not a wannabe sport, it's the real deal.
Yeah, it's the real deal. You know, there was cowboys here in the islands before there was cowboys in Texas. And this is back in the 1700s when the king had the vaqueros come over here to teach the Hawaiians how to handle horses.
Let's go back a little bit. We're riding up through that pasture. The ocean is in the background, volcanoes to one side, people that have never been here. Tell us what you were seeing.
It truly must be like heaven here. I've never seen a more beautiful place in the world. The weather is perfect. The trees, everywhere you look you see flowers, and every breath you take smells beautiful. It's just, it makes me feel close to my God.
Tell me about the horses here in Maui, what you rode, where you went.
I saw some of the best kept horses I've ever seen in my life. They were fat and happy and healthy. Being a horse person, I kind of scan horses for owies on their body, and I saw none on these horses. There weren't even white marks on their shoulders from old saddle sores. They were just beautifully kept animals.
Stay tuned for more from Hawaii with outdoorsmen Tom C. and Del Shields on Best of America by Horseback.
We know about your big old truck and that trailer that you tow. We even heard about your toys. So, what's holding it all together? Good thing you know who to trust for trailer hitches. B&W Trailer Hitches. Trusted.
Dill, there were so many activities, we couldn't do them all, so we sort of split it up. You took them on something I didn't get to do. Tell me about it.
The zip line ride was, if you really want to be on the edge of your seat, I guarantee you, the most exhilarating thing that we've done probably since we've been here.
You're into pheasant hunting, bronc riding, and singing music. The zip line was right up there with riding a bronc, wasn't it?
Oh, I tell you what, the adrenaline rush was just something else. What a great ride.
You also went down on the zip line. Were you nervous about that?
At first, because I've never done anything like that, but I've jumped out of planes before and it was fun, so this got to be just as good. It turned out even better.
Easy landing.
Oh, much easier.
The crew makes you so comfortable explaining all the signs, all the rigging, and they walk you through it, you know, step by step. So I was very confident in the crew. So I absolutely could not wait to get up there and try it. They were great.
I have always, my whole life, had a fear of heights. And that was the one thing on this trip that really had me frightened, was a zip line. It did not seem possible that harness and that cable was going to keep me safe. And the staff there were wonderful. They encouraged me, they hugged me. They gently put me in my harness and counted off, and I just sat there. I could not move. I was shaking so hard. And Bill had taken off just before me, and he was zooming away, and he said over his shoulder, "Come on, Jan." And we've been together too long to be separated. And so I picked my feet up and went, and I was so afraid. I was crying like a baby. And by the end, I was almost laughing.
The last of the zip lines, you look like a bird floating along. Tell me about that part of it.
That particular one, they call it number 5, and it is a half-mile long. And you look across that canyon, and it's terrifying. But by then, I had complete confidence in the crew that was helping us. And I just picked up my feet, and it did feel like flying. And I looked down, and there was a canyon and water and beautiful flowers. And it was just amazing.
Next, we're going to show you a segment where Tom and the winners, Bill and Jan, got to go shoot sporting clays, which I did not get to do.
You're quite a pheasant hunter, but I think I held my own, and we really enjoyed doing this. Another great outdoor activity on Best of America by Horseback. Watch this.
I'm Dale Shields. This is Best of America by Horseback, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
It is said,
before it was illegal to pick your kid up by the arm, he'd pick me up and stick me in the saddle with him.
Another thing that comes when you buy property from Outlet, that means you get free lifetime riding at East Fork Stable.
The people that live here in this area are great. I mean, talk about people who just pitch in and give you a hand with stuff.
So you have access to 400 miles of trails in the northern part of this county.
If you dream it.
Well, you'll have 4, similar to Ohio, but just a lot milder. This just felt more like home dog.
It can be.
And let's ride.
You got it, hon.
Stop wasting hay. Save 30 to 40% of hay wasted in traditional ring feeders with hay feeders manufactured by Clinny Pipe Structures. Built with 10-gauge galvanized steel tubing, these durable feeders weighing over 1,000 pounds are the best built and longest lasting feeders on the market today. Free choice hay is the best feeding option for your horse. To limit hay, simply latch the grills upright. They can be crated and shipped all across the U.S. They also carry a long line of portable run-in shelters in other buildings. Clinny Pipe Structures, family owned and operated since 1949. Welcome to this very special segment of Best of America by Horseback. We're in the Hawaiian Islands on the island of Maui at the Piiholo Ranch. Where are we going to ride today?
Well, we're going to be riding through the edge of the rainforest. That's how the ranch sits. So we're going to be riding through some stream beds, up onto some beautiful vistas. They're going to be overlooking the ocean. We're going to ride to the top of Piiholo Hill. Piiholo Hill relieves the pressure off the main volcano. And you can see out of the top of it there, the caldera where the lava flowed out of it. And you're going to see Haleakala, you'll see the forest, and lots of cattle, and everywhere you look is going to be beautiful. I'm looking up at those mountains, and and every time I look up there I see something different. A different terrain, a different gulch. Just the way the clouds move are always different. And then you could look out towards the ocean, and it's always different. It's a different color every day, just depending on the mist and the clouds.
People that come here to ride that have never ridden here before, what's the one comment you hear over and over from people? I mean,
that they would have never expected this on Maui.
While riding at Piiholo Ranch, Tom and Dell met a fan of the show from North Carolina who had a very inspirational story to tell.
Dell, sometimes when we're traveling and doing so many shows, we've been traveling since the beginning of the show, really.
Yes, we have.
5 years. We run into people that are just the true examples of Best of America. And this gentleman we stumbled onto, he was coming back from a trail ride, and he was an inspiration to me. I think he'll be an inspiration to you. And you got to play a little music with him.
Yes, I did. John had a brain injury from a plane crash, and he started playing the guitar after the crash, rehabilitation, and what an inspiring, moving event.
Sometimes we enjoy the second half of our lives more than the first half because it becomes more meaningful. You'll enjoy this visit with John. When things go wrong in life, whether it's health or finances or marriage or just any host of disasters, a lot of people use that as an excuse and say, well, now I can't do this or I can't do that. I haven't met you but less than 7 minutes and heard about your situation. And then 3 times in 7 minutes I've heard you say, but we're going to do this. And we've decided to. You're doing just the opposite of what most people do, which is the American dream. I'm going to accomplish, I'm going to go. And do you think about that?
Tom, I just love to do everything. I always was active. I had to learn to be a new me. I can't do the things that I was trained to do. I was trained as an engineer, and I lost all of that capacity, so I couldn't function in my business any longer. And after a fairly extensive neurorehabilitation program, I began to learn how to do things that I never thought I might do, like learning to play music. And so now I play the banjo and I play the guitar, not for other people's pleasure, but for my pleasure. And I enjoy it so much. And I guess the one word that I've always hated is bored. There's no reason to be bored. There's just too much in life to learn and to seek doing new things. It took a lot of courage for me to have this interview with you. I would ordinarily have run from it, but you made it somewhat easy. I have moments that are very difficult, that I would call them frustrations. I don't watch television except for shows like yours, for example. I can't watch sports because the action is so fast it makes my head dizzy. I can't distinguish the teams. I can't watch news, which is just nothing but it depresses me. And so I find a channel like yours on RFD that is just shows pleasurable things.
John, I have met a lot of people, and a whole bunch of them need to be just like you, and all of us need to have the attitude and the love of life that you have. You truly are the best of America. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Tom. It's been an unexpected pleasure to meet you, and one of the very few shows that I enjoy watching on television.
Dell, this trip to Maui and the Hawaiian Islands was just over the top. One of the nicest places we've ever been. I've enjoyed all the activities, especially our guests. Incredible people. You also were inspired to write a song. So is it okay if we play that song as we close the show?
Absolutely. Very first morning I was here, the rich cowboy history that was here just really grabbed hold of me, and so I'd be glad to share that song with our viewers.
Thank you for watching Best of America by Horseback. I'm Tom C. Enjoy this and future shows.
Yeah. You can hear the waves kissing the shoreline as the mountain tops welcome the dawn. The cattle are bawling, the horses are fed, the Piiholo's are trailered and gone. Haleaka, Piiholo, the Parker, ranches that all wear the brand of a history that's sacred.
Join us again next week for more of our trip to the island of Maui in Hawaii. Learn more about the rich cowboy history behind the Baldwin family and the Piiholo Ranch. Join the group on some of their excursion trips arranged by Tom Barefoot Tours, including snorkeling inside a dormant volcano from the decks of the Lanikai. Hang on as Air Maui helicopter tours take the winners exploring the islands from the sky, and learn how to relax at the Aromatherapy Foundation Spa. Join Tom and Dell next week for Hawaii Part 2 on Best of America by Horseback.
To the men and the love of the land, it's a life born to be for the cowboy so free. Carved by God with his creative hand, this island that we call Hawaii. Palm trees, volcanoes so tall, majestic in